Hey Leo, I hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a general reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for July 23rd to the 31st. I hope you guys are doing really well on the heels of all the stuff we've had going on in the sky. That South Node Sun in Cancer, 24 degrees. We had that Saturn and Pluto hanging out around those degrees. It's all about build-up, guys, right? I mean, that's ultimately what this is about. When Saturn is in its home sign, it's about intensity, karmic endings, karmic beginnings, major mixing of energies, throwing some Venus into that. And we're really pushing, the long and the short of it is, to really align with our truth. Our honest truth about who we are emotionally and what it is that we want. Because without that honesty, we're not going to be able to get to where we need to go. And Saturn and Pluto can be very tough to deal with, but they're very needed because that's a beautiful combination to really push us, to let us know if what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve, whether it's working or not, and whether it will ultimately work. And involved in all of this is kind of like this faux deceptive energy. And I say faux because it's not really conscious. It's us playing mind games with ourselves, fake or masking of true feelings, right? To make a situation work that isn't supposed to right now. It's the stories that we tell ourselves in order to stay in the space that we're in. But we can't do that anymore. We can't compromise our spiritual truth anymore. Saturn in that South Node energy is just not going to have it. So let's see what your crowning energy comes up as. Ninth house, faith. Nice, Leo. Yeah, this is about destiny, fate, karma. It's about really getting in touch with what is your idea of faith, Where do you stand on your belief in God or whatever God you choose, right? What do you think it's all about, These are asking the big, deep life questions, because what this energy typically means you are seriously looking for answers right now. Like you've reached a point in your life where there's been a lot of culminations around you and within you, and you're just really looking for some solid answers right now from outside of yourself. So the ninth house represents anything psychic, anything religious, anything new age, people gathering together for a visionary cause, but on the most mundane level, the ninth house is about traveling to distant places. Now, we can't all, not every Leo can just pack a bag and leave, right? Many of you may be preparing for a trip within the next 4 to 6 weeks, absolutely. But if that is not your story, this can certainly be happening internally, or can be happening both, quite frankly. But it's about looking for knowledge and for broadening your understanding. You have a desire to visit places of like arcane wisdom and knowledge, where you can expect the history behind the area to be very well documented and just very interesting, and you're just kind of losing yourself in it and appreciating the mystery of something. You could certainly be doing this via watching certain videos on these subjects, reading certain books, or actually visiting these places in person. But there's going to be this longing to connect with something greater than the individual self. So for those of you who follow any sort of organized religion or have that in your history, really getting into scripture right now, or just really anything that's going to, that you think might deliver some answers that you're looking for. Now, occasionally, I do have to say, this does indicate a temporary disconnect from close family, where you're in a space of like departing. And again, this doesn't have to be physically, okay? But in a way, you're like departing from the life that you know to be true right now for yourself into another, or really transferring into a space of you being a seeker, or almost like a pilgrim, right? Going on a pilgrimage. The Church of Rome is represented by the ninth house. Also, alternative religions like modern paganism, Wicca, and so on. Now for those of you who have a question about love, one of you or both of you are in a space of needing freedom. So typically, this crowning energy does not indicate that there's going to be a commitment anytime soon. because this is about you needing your space, but this does indicate that you're about to depart on an important journey. You know, again, it can be outward, it can be inward, but either way, you will be changed through this process, absolutely. You know, as this card has to do with what's been tried and tested and what's already established, and this is what I'm getting you guys are really looking for, some like solid answers, you know, just solid answers. No matter how expansive or broad-minded, it's going to be rooted in something very traditional that you're going to be able to really deeply appreciate right now. So some of you may be getting much more deeply involved in astrology or in tarot or in any of the religions, you know, that I indicated, or any religion that I didn't indicate. You know, this is just, again, you just being in a space of seeking, of really wanting to learn why things are the way they are, you know. For some of you, it can be because you want to better understand your own life. For others of you, it's just you're at this crossroads in your life, and you're just like, what the hell is it all about anyway? What am I doing? You know? Yeah. Wow, okay. Well, that's the crowning energy. So let's see what cards we get for your story here. Two of Wands. Oh my God. I love when that happens. Two of Wands. Same energy, okay? Same energy. It's like, I gotta go. Time to go, people. Time to go. Death card. Okay. All right, listen, guys, if this message doesn't resonate, because I feel like this is going to be a very specific message. If this doesn't resonate, please check your rising sign, your moon sign, and your Venus for sure, okay? Yeah, general messages, right? We can't hit everybody all the time. I wish we could. All right, it'd be great if we could do that. Two of Wands. Mars and Aries energy. This shows you making plans and moving forward. Okay, exactly what we were talking about here. So travel arrangements can be one meaning of the card. In your work, this does indicate you're gaining influence, improving your worth in some way. This card can also show a new creative partnership and beginning a new project or enterprise. And since there are two wands on this card, there are two aspects to your situation. So whatever you're dealing with in your life right now, there are two aspects, two things to consider. Okay? And the energy is asking you here to consider what helps you on your path and to think about what issues might be holding you back right now in your life. And you want to make a plan that maximizes your strengths and talents so that you can ultimately achieve where it is that you want to go and you can shine, right? An additional meaning of this is a new romantic partnership, and it often comes up in a reading to reveal a relationship that begins at work or through mutual friends or some sort of leisure activity. But there's a personal element to this, not an online meeting kind of thing, okay? And then spiritually too, you're feeling more connected within yourself to the world at large, right? So you may feel drawn to spend more time connecting with nature or earthly goods or just the world in general. This is what I'm feeling like you guys have this burning in your belly to just go, to just do. But overall opportunities are on their way, allowing you to level up. So you really want to make the most of these offers because your star is rising. But it seems like you're going to have to go through some things before you can actually arrive at the fruition of that. Excuse my voice if it goes in and out. I've been doing readings since very early this morning. Okay. And then we have the Seven of Cups. So this is a Venus and Scorpio energy. And this tells me that in some way you feel like the decisions in your life are not fully yours to make. Like choices and confusion are indicated here, yes. Okay. For those of you who don't know, the Seven of Cups, a lot of people, when you hear many readers will refer to this as being choices, but with a negative connotation, right? I kind of have a hard time buying into that only because we have 7 cups here, and you can't see it in this particular deck, but in most other decks, you'll see 5 cups are really positive. One indicating higher consciousness, one indicating wisdom, one indicating the ultimate utopia, one indicating having all the resources we need and so on. And then there are two cups that's indicated. One is like a baby dragon and the other one has a skull on it. So it's this idea of mystery and just not knowing. So the way I understand this is to be, this is all about choices. And if we want to say confusion, we can't really say that it's in a negative way. It's just you not having all of the pieces of the puzzle yet, right? And amazing opportunities are here though, right? But the options can seem a bit overwhelming, but mainly it's because you don't have all of the information that you need right now to make an educated and wise decision. But isn't that what life is? You know, do we ever really have all of the information, even when we think we do? Right? And we get into something and we realize, oh, if only I had known that, right? But the thing is, the universe is neutral and holds absolutely no opinion. So emotional overwhelm comes from second guessing yourself in this energy. So while your confusion may not be real, and I say that because I said you're feeling confused, but it's not really confusion if you simply don't have all the information. That's just you being underinformed, right? But regardless, this still may not be the best time to make a decision. You know, you can't know where a feeling's going to take you, but if it inspires you and, you know, it's moving you, then to me, the adventure has begun, you know. Again, because 5 out of these 7 cups are completely positive, right? It's only 2 of those cups. So, you know, this is you wanting to move forward, but you being like, okay, you know, I don't know. Do I know everything? I'm not sure, you know. And then we have the 8 of Cups here, Saturn and Pisces. This shows me you being very restless right now. Really, Leo, you're really feeling, I'm getting, many of you are feeling that something is missing from your life, okay? If that doesn't resonate with you, then I don't think this is your reading, okay? You're feeling like something is missing. And it's like everything on the surface seems pretty harmonious, right? Work, relationships, right? But your intuition is nagging you. And the result I'm getting may be a departure from something. It could be from a job, it could be from a relationship. Traditionally, this energy predicts you leaving a situation or breaking an agreement that no longer fulfills you, okay? But you do want to be sure not to do this in haste and be sure that there's no more that you can gain or contribute to the situation. You know, and I am getting that this is somehow connected to this challenge, the Princess of Cups challenge. This week. This is an Aquarius and Pisces energy that brings about a very emotional time, and you're just feeling very challenged with actually feeling right now. I am getting that. Like, you don't feel a genuine need for a new love. Like, if it happens, great, but whatever. You know, it's like not on the top of your list right now. You know, you don't want to deal with having to deal with more romance with your existing partner. And I'm getting this a very introspective time for you. And you just aren't trusting or wanting to open up to dealing with things within your heart space right now so much, right now. You know, you're just really focused on answering these questions that you have, you know. But I mean, I do see you leaving a situation and there being less drama in doing so than you would expect. It's like you slipping away into the night in this energy, you know, very quietly and swiftly. And while you may feel sadness about the ending of whatever this is, you're not going to feel much regret because it's time to go with the flow here. Absolutely. And you're going to end up feeling energized to move on, you know, to a space where you're feeling called to. Many of you are feeling called to something just like beyond your life right now. Ultimately, you're going to feel very content with what you're doing here. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually getting a lot of you have already left the situation emotionally, like you've checked out already. Now all it actually takes is for you to physically leave. But yeah, also on the mundane level, this does also indicate a time to travel and explore physically and or spiritually, which goes back to the 9th house oracle, which also goes back to the 2 of Wands. We got a lot of travel going on here, Leo. All right, you guys are moving, okay? All right. So now we have this 5 of Cups reversed in midweek. This is our midweek, okay? This is Mars and Scorpio, okay? This is one of the 2 cards in the tarot whose reverse interpretation is more positive than in the upright. So this indicates you've already experienced the lowest point in a downward cycle. A lot of you have just gone through a very heavy, difficult, challenging time in your life. I know a lot of you have, yeah? And this indicates that you're being very close to recovery, finally letting go of painful past memories, really ready to pick up the pieces. You're going to be so much stronger than you were before, really able to face reality and move forward now. And for many of you, socially speaking, this is you like coming back to life. A lot of you meeting up with old friends, things like that. So very positive. I do like that. I like it. Then we have the Fool. Okay, this is a Uranus energy. This is about you needing to break free from your roots, Leo, in order to travel your path ahead. Now, this can be physically, mentally, or both. Regardless, the journey needs to begin within you. It's time to transplant your roots that you've been carrying with you since probably your childhood here and change your life and realize what beliefs you still hold that ring true for you and which ones no longer ring true for you that you need to break free from. And really recognize family restrictions. And even if this is family of origin restrictions, even if you are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, sometimes we still carry these things, right, from our earlier years. And just feel any kind of restrictions imposed on you from somebody outside of you. This is all about you choosing a new path in your life, a new route, right? This is the Sun energy. This is self and survival. Right? This is the first chakra. This is like your sun sign, right? It's back to your nature, and you really looking at, what is your current outlook right now in your life? What's your temperament like? Where are you at? Are you happy with where you're at? There's no need to stay attached to a past that no longer defines you. So this is talking about taking a calculated risk, knowing that it's never too late to begin anew and really anything that speaks to your heart's desire. The journey ahead is not without danger, but, or risk. Obviously, anything new that we take on, of course, we'll never have all the information, but this is about you taking the leap of faith. Very optimistic energy, one that offers a fresh perspective. You being very ready to explore and discover. Now, as far as relationships go, if you're in a relationship that's not able to go with the flow right now, like where either you're not okay with that kind of arrangement or the partner that you're dealing with isn't, the energy is probably not going to support it because you're in a space of really needing some space right now. You have a lot of questions that need to be answered and that you need to figure out about life in general, and you're actually giving it a lot of importance in your life right now. Yeah. And we have the World reversed. So this is a Saturn energy. And it shows that you're ready to move on, but feel blocked or undeserving of success. Like you can be hanging on to one vision that eludes you for whatever reason. And if so, it's time to redefine what you want and really adjust your expectations, since you may be clinging on to a dream to the exclusion of all else, right? But any negatives that you're feeling in this energy are minor, and you're going to get what you deserve, but it just may take a little longer to become obvious. But in the meantime, keep your faith, going back to the oracle, because it's all going to happen. Just there's going to be a little delay in it. And that makes sense, because we still have Mercury retrograde. Mercury is not going to be going direct until July 31st, and then it's still going to be in shadow until the middle of August. So there are delays are still very indicated for all the signs. Okay, now starting the end of the week, we have the Death card. Okay, Scorpio energy. I like the Death card because, yes, it brings endings, but it also brings beginnings. And sometimes don't we just want shit to end so that we can have a new beginning? You know what I mean? So this is about endings and beginnings, sometimes all at once. This is a time of vast and deep transformation and a chance to let go of what you no longer need, But important here is allowing old resentments to die, remember, means no longer giving them meaning in your life. If you choose, you can embody the enlightenment of the seventh chakra and evolve, because from that space, manifesting will become as natural as breathing for you. And I know it's easier said than done. especially when death's impact sometimes is sudden and could be shocking, and you have little control over external events during this time. But in time, you're going to be able to see that the sharp change in circumstances was all a blessing, ultimately. Is a break with the past, from relationships and friendships to work, that is just no longer satisfying. Breaking away is the only way forward. And in this sense, death can be a release and a relief. After all, right, isn't death the ultimate reality check? Leaving us with the bare bones, with the truth, right? But in order to move forward in a healthy way, it's important that you not hold on to those resentments, This is that type of energy. It's a Saturn conjunct energy. It's tough, okay? It's tough, but it's so rewarding on the other side of it. And when Saturn syncs up with your birth chart, Saturn, it's known as a Saturn return. This energy can almost feel like I call it like a turbulent plane ride, right? But this is not necessarily an indication that anything is actually truly wrong. It's like a mini death for many of you, right? Where you're entering, the way you enter into this time period is not the way you're going to be exiting this time period, if that makes sense. This is very much a rite of passage energy. And you asking yourself exactly how ready are you to step out of your false self? Because this is about you completing your shadow journey. Like, you went through it, Leo, and now you're ready to move forward. You just are. You're ready to move forward with some temperance. Temperance is the next card after death. This is card 13. Temperance is card 14. This is, you are ready to just move it forward and get it going. Not saying it's not going to be easy for you at all. And I am feeling like this is where this Knight of Swords energy is a challenge for you this week, Taurus and Gemini energy. And as an influence, this indicates unpredictable, tempestuous times ahead of you, where you're in for this like roller coaster drama of highs and lows, certain truths coming to light, underlying conflicts being exposed. Now, this can actually be pretty good. This can be very illuminating for many of you, or it can be very stressful and confusing. Obviously, this is a general reading, so it depends on your situation, but this does often show up as like disputes at work or tensions within families, even romantic relationships. And while you may not be possible for the cause of the trouble, you are responsible and will be held responsible for how you respond. So, yeah. And I gotta say, look at this. We have 2 of Knights, right? Those of you who've been watching me know what I say about when we get 2 Knights close together. Look, and they're cornering each other. One's upright, one's reversed. That means rivalry. There's a rivalrous energy here. There's somebody who, in your life, it could be one person, it could be a group of people, it could have to do with your private life, it could have to do with work. But there's an area in your life where you're having to deal with rivalrous energies somewhere in your life right now. Because whenever we have 2 Knights, if they were both upright, that would be positive. That would be strong friendship, strong connection. But I'm getting that. There's rivalry here. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Coins reverse. This is an Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And when this is reversed, this indicates greed and holding fast to one particular outcome. And and what happens when we do that, guys, right? We must become desperate for that one outcome. And that type of desperation can cause materialistic thinking when you fix to only one goal, right? It's very easy for other aspects of your life to suffer when you're just hyper-focused on one thing. So this card can show a few things. It can show unwise investment of time or money. So be aware of the motives of those you invest with or work for, people in general that you're dealing with. This can be a difficult time where you feel like you're being treated unfairly by unscrupulous people or an organization, right? Where money for work you have done may not materialize. This reversal can also show financial mismanagement, even mistakes, and it advises to not make major financial decisions right now, okay? Now, in personal relationships, this can show that someone close to you becomes very materialistic, almost grasping sensibility, selfishly wanting to keep everything for themselves. Now, this can have to do with money and resources, or it could also have to do with somebody expecting you to do all the work in a relationship and just having a really hard time with what you are giving, you know? So there's this imbalance here in this energy, for sure. You know, if it's regarding resources, it does indicate reckless spending. I do have to say that. And that could be of you or somebody close to you. But if it has to do with relationships, it's someone really now pulling their weight, you know, in relationship. Okay. Then we have the Knight of Wands reverse, Scorpio and Sag energy. And in the reverse, this indicates a creative block or miscommunication where messages are not being delivered clearly. This could be just you and the other people in your life just not understanding each other the way you each intend. It's like frustrating kind of energy. This also indicates delays in something. You're feeling very frustrated at the lack of a lack of progress in a certain area that's preventing you from being able to move forward pragmatically in something that you really very much want to move forward. So just know that this influence is temporary and it will pass. But in the meantime, hold on to your plans, hold on to your self-belief, you know. Some of you might be dealing with a person who has this energy. And if that's the case, this person is very egotistical and attention-seeking, someone who deflects a lot and is unwilling to do any of the hard work to deserve the status that they're looking for. Someone very self-interested. So, you know, this can also speak to, you know, somebody you're dealing with that Ace of Coins reverse also. But I'm getting that this is where the Four of Coins reverse comes in as a challenge for you, because this energy in reverse indicates an overly materialistic person who holds a bit too fast to status and possessions. And again, Leo, this can be you or it can be somebody close to you. Okay? Yeah. And if it is you, try to let go of this insecure mindset, because that is an insecurity, since it takes up way too much space in your head. And it ends up feeding like a poverty type of mentality. You know what I mean by poverty? It's like that you're never going to have enough, not that you really are poor like that or in poverty. And in work, this can reveal you missing opportunities because your confidence is low and you're feeling somehow disempowered. So I do get this at the beginning. You guys have this strong desire for your questions to be answered. You're willing to travel either internally or externally. You're very focused. But then an issue happens with somebody in your life, and I feel like it's either denting your confidence or causing you unnecessary aggravation, and it's really prompting you to just move away from the situation, and you're just processing all of that. But this can be a person, but it doesn't have to be. I don't want you guys in relationships to think that your relationships are going to end. This can certainly be a friendship. This could be with actually a family member loving them from afar, or it could also be a job, you know, but any area of your life. But you guys are in a space of seeking, and I think that's awesome. And, you know, I hope you can take this and don't let go of that. You know, go get those questions answered. You know, you owe that to yourself for sure. You guys have been through it. Yeah. All right, Leo, that is what I have for you. You guys take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.